And good evening and welcome to another edition of The Way We See It. My name is Ralph Williams and my co-host Bill Cannata. And
What's
we're
going
here.
on, Pittsburgh viewers
Yeah,
and listeners?
exactly.
I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I had a good one. My Thanksgiving was great. I enjoyed it. So,
Thanks for having me over there, brother. Appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome anytime, man. Anybody, I told everybody that I know, if you don't have a place to go, come to my place.
Well, I did right after my oldest daughters, real quick.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Let me give a quick shout out to my kids because they were like, Daddy, you still want it? I said, yes. So, okay, here we go. Mini Mooch and the Mooch down in Florida. Daddy loves you. And the Megster down in Coriopolis. I love you guys so much. And there we go. This way here, it saves me from getting killed, Ralph.
Oh, I know. Okay. Our Chinese wisdom tonight is answer just what your heart prompts you. Answer just what your heart prompts you. And that is our Chinese wisdom. And we're in the First Line Consulting Services Studios, 1-877-926-6982. Give them a call today. You need a website, they will actually build it for you. They will manage it for you, and they will put up all your videos, whatever you need. They have different package deals, low monthly payments. And also, if you're a business or an organization, they have some great monthly plans. So don't forget to call First Line Consulting Services Studios. That number again is 1-877-926-6982. And Gary is on, and he says, good evening. Good evening to you as well, Gary. It's great to have you.
Good evening, Gary. Good evening. Good evening.
All right. Tonight, our blast segment is brought to you by Sleep Pittsburgh, 412-462-7858. Call Sleep Pittsburgh today for all the best sleep you need. Hey, if you need a mattress, call them today. I got a memory foam mattress at a really good price. I didn't have to take out a loan. They also have day beds. They have bunk beds. They have futons. They have children's desks. I mean, furniture for the child's room. Oh, they have all kinds of stuff. They're stocked with. Stop by 8th Avenue in Homestead on your way out to where to go look at Christmas lights. Okay, I'm not going to mention their name because they don't pay me. So but anyway, stop by and leave early. Stop by Sleep Pittsburgh. Tell them you heard it here on RW Media Productions and on our shows here. Sleep Pittsburgh. That number again, 412-462-7858. If you can't get out and you want to do it on the phone, they'll do everything with you on the phone. No credit check financing. And let me tell you what, they are some very nice, helpful people. Also, they have a website, sleeppittsburgh.com. Check it out. Find out if you might find something that you might want to get from Sleep Pittsburgh for the best sleep tonight. All right, Bill, let's get into our blast segment. And I'll tell you what, we have a lot of blasts tonight. We have about 9. So we have 9 blasts tonight. All right, first I want to blast the Democrats in the State House. And the reason I'm blasting them tonight is because they have eliminated funding for children in schools, for children in daycare centers in the state. There was funding out there for the daycares to recover from COVID. Well, what happened was the state, in their infinite wisdom, the Democrats now, and these are folks, how many times do I have to tell you, vote these people out? All right, if they're doing stuff like this, vote them out. Tell them, call them, say, hey, look, I'm not going to tolerate this. I will vote you out, and I will get others to vote you out. Please. These Democrats in the State House, what they're doing, Bill, and everyone out there, is they are cutting the funding for daycares where people need them. They need daycares. This affects children. It affects children. All right. All right. That's the way we see it tonight. All right. The administration of the Newcastle Arc Center, who did nothing when a man died. Did nothing when a man died. Bill, that's a shame. What do you think of
that? I'm lost for words, brother. Did nothing when a man died.
Yeah, and it was in an art clinic, one of them alcohol rehab places, in Newcastle. Yeah, that's a shame. So,
They just look young.
I'm blasting them tonight. That's the way we see it. All right. The assistant pastor, or the assistant priest in Cannonsburg. In fact, Friday I passed that church, and I felt bad for him. I did a blessing on the way by, and they were having an event there. I don't know what it was. They had a couple coach buses there. They were having an event at this church. Well, this assistant pastor decided to steal from the congregation. He stole close to $38,000. Okay. He claims he needed the money, was in financial hardship. Okay. Look, why don't you reach out to your flock? Say, hey, look, I'm hurt, or I have a problem, or go see the senior pastor, or go see the Catholic Church. Maybe they can help you. All right.
Yeah.
But for you to do this to the congregation, and like the district attorney for Washington County said, it's somebody you're supposed to be able to trust.
Yep.
All right. And we're going to talk about that later on tonight, Bill, about trust. Do you trust people in nursing homes? Do you trust your pastor? Do you trust the priest? Do you trust your teacher? Trust. We're going to talk about that later on tonight. That's the way we see it. The guy who tried to kill his roommate by crashing his car into his house, into the very house where he lives. There you go. We have a comment here I want to read real quick, and before we get back to the blast. Paul says, are you running for office? What position are you going for? I will support a Ralph Williams run for office. Yes, I am, Paul. I have 4 years because the election just happened, and Bill here is one of my campaign managers, and I have another gentleman named Claudio Rosano as my two campaign managers. And yes, I am running. I'm running against Bethany Hallam. My goal, my objective is to take out all these progressive Democrats. And you can help me by voting me in for county council at large. And you know why? Because I've had enough. We're not putting homeless people at the William Penn Hotel. We are not leaving office buildings vacant because we don't want to give corporations tax breaks. Okay? That's fine. Guess what? The real estate companies are pulling out of here because now they have to follow that 10% rule for affordable housing. Now, look, I have a problem with $2,000 a month apartments. We do need more affordable housing. But how many times, Bill, have I said about affordable housing? Get rid of some of the knuckleheads out of these buildings, and then you'll have enough affordable housing. Okay?
Yes, you will. Yes, you're right.
Quit letting people sell drugs. Quit letting people do this and that. Quit letting them manipulate the system. Get them out. You do that, you'll have enough affordable housing. Okay?
You're right. You're
Some of
right.
these people in jail, you'll have enough affordable housing for other people who deserve it. Okay? All right? I don't have a problem with that. But I think the real estate people, and again, I don't blame them, they have a business to run. Do not want to build $2,000 a month apartments and have idiots and some of the people that live in my building and some of these other buildings running around all over the place when they're paying $2,000 a month to live there. It's just not fair. You know what I mean? You want affordable housing? Why don't you go to the Pittsburgh Public Schools? Why don't you rent one of their buildings? Put homeless people in them, put affordable housing in them. That's what I would do. That's what I think outside the box. Not putting homeless people in the William Penn. Not buying office space downtown to put homeless people in. That's not going to work. Okay? It doesn't work that way. All right? Not putting homeless camps near downtown. You want to get the homeless out of downtown, keep them out of downtown. Don't put them near downtown where you say, well, they can go and get their services. No, it has nothing to do with services at all. All right. What it has to do with is the fact that you want to keep homeless people near downtown for services. I don't care. All right. Out of sight, out of mind. You can give them all the help they want staying up at the old Highland VA or wherever they're going to go. That's what I'm doing as Paul. That's what some of my plans are. Okay. And I'm running out some of these progressives who keep doing these goofy things, giving inmates at the jail 100 and what I tell you, Bill, 100 what? 50,
125. He's 125. 125.
Yeah, $125 a month siphoned to buy at the commissary. Well, I got a solution to that problem. Stop ripping off the prisoners or the inmates at the jail. Stop breaking open Twinkie boxes and charging $3 for a single Twinkie. Okay, you're not supposed to sell that anyway. All right, so what you do is you stop doing that. Okay, cut the prices down at the commissary, get better food in there for the inmates, and then cut it down to $50 a month.
Yeah.
Okay? There's the solution to the quick problem of these progressive Democrats. And also, Paul, don't forget, and this is the last thing I'm going to say before we get back to the show. All right? Okay? I'm going to tell you this right now. These district justices got to go as well. All right? You got a bunch of these guys out here, and tonight we have yet another one I'm blasting tonight for letting a kid out who had an AK-47. An AK-47 on him when he got arrested, and they sent him home to his parents because they claimed they had nowhere to put him. Put him in the county jail. There's a juvenile wing in the county jail. Put him in the county jail. Okay? It's not that difficult. But these progressives are making it complicated with their stupid decisions. Okay? Council, Allegheny Council at large, which means I will represent the entire county, okay, on county council. If that doesn't work, I might run for county council here in my area in the South Hills, okay? I want to run for school board because I'm tired of Pittsburgh Public Schools nonsense too, okay? If I didn't have all my media stuff going on, I probably would, okay? All right, that's where I am, Paul. Yes, that's right. And Paul says he thinks I can beat Bethany Hallam. And I think I can too.
I'm sure you can.
Even though she got 200,000 votes, the guy, the person that ran against her, he got 150,000 votes. So she only got 50,000 more than he did. And that's another 150,000 that don't like her.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a lot of respect for Bethany Hallam and I did start liking her. But what I don't like is when you sit there and throw your weight around at a jail oversight board meeting and they're giving you $125 a month and now you want to pay inmates to work at the jail. And then you want to create bank accounts for them and their families because they're not there to take care of their kids. Well, again, that's not that person's problem. That's not my problem. And that's not anyone else's problem. And I don't care where you get the money from. Okay. Yeah. All right. If they work in the jail, they'll go out and work out in society. Okay. But why should they be paid? All right. Well, the state pays their inmates. Well, then that's fine. Then pay them $1 an hour. Well, Bethany's plan is to pay them $10 a day. That's her plan. That's $300 a month if you put it all away.
Yep.
Again, she wants them to be able to carry it over, and they can take it home to their families or give it to their families. Okay. So, but I'm not against that. I like that idea a little bit, but I don't like the expense of it. Then you got to hire a person to manage the money. Then you got to hire a person to distribute the money. Then you got to hire an extra person. And you're talking about saving money on benefits and all that, Bethany. How's that saving money when you got to add another person to do all this? So that's benefits right there. Okay. All right. I'm not going to talk no more about this tonight. We have 4 years. So I have 4 years. And I'm going to sit back for a year and put some strategy together. Then I'm going to take the second year and go out and get donors. Then I'm going to take the third year and go out and fill up the petition. Then I'm going to go out to a fourth year and I'm really going to go hard. Then I'm going after Bethany Hallam. Okay. And I don't want to hear nobody go, Ralph, don't go after poor Bethany Hallam. No, I'm going after these progressives. I want them out. And by everyone voting in Sarah Alvarado, you didn't do yourself a favor. And they last year we lost 12,000 people out of Allegheny County because of the progressives. Because of the Mayor Gainey's, because of the Sarah Alvarados and the Bethany Hallams and the Xander Ornsteins. Those are the ones who are causing these problems in this county. Keep voting them in. All right. Let's get back to our blast segment. Okay. All right. The city, once again, all right, and here we are, delayed money, and I'm blasting them tonight because they're delaying money again for the construction of a site for the salt trucks here over in Mount Oliver, okay, or in Knoxville. Okay, it's been sitting idle for 5 years. They finally tore the building down. They were supposed to have the building ready to go by this fall. It didn't happen. They had mine subsides. They fixed that. Now the building's still delayed. They're blaming material delays. They're blaming this delay, paperwork delay. Let me tell you something. In Vegas, I stayed at the Palace Station Hotel. You know what they told me? They said that they built a pedestrian walkway across the highway because people didn't want to take a bus or a cab. They wanted to go into the strip area, okay? And they were crossing the highway and getting hit by a car. Do you know within a week, the casinos threw money in? Within a week, that that pedestrian overpass was built. Within a week. When it takes us here 5 years to get something done, it's unacceptable. All right.
I was telling you, man, if they
But
would
the
take,
city's doing this again. Now the South Hills communities have to suffer for a sixth year because of this crap with this building. All right. The woman who caused who actually killed. This happened in McKeesport. This woman, and I'm blasting this woman tonight for killing her infant kids. She killed both of them. Both of them. Okay. And Bill knows a little bit about that. Okay. But anyway, that's a shame there. All right. The pastor in Florida who had sex with a church member, with a female church member.
Here it is.
I don't want to talk any further about that. We'll talk about that later on.
Oh my gosh.
But another one, Brighton Health Center. Remember them? Yeah, Brighton Health Center had all them problems with COVID. Had to get the National Guard to come in. Had employees that weren't showing up for work. Well, guess what? They got supervisors telling employees to milk the books and tell the state that they have employees on duty when they don't, so they don't lose state funding. All right, next. Last but not least, the New York school bus driver who raped a student in the bus. Shame on you. And I'm blasting you tonight for that because that makes all other bus drivers look bad. Was our blast segment tonight brought to you by Sleep Pittsburgh, 412-462-7858, Homestead, 8th Avenue. Stop by and check out Sleep Pittsburgh today. All right. Our Bonehead segment's brought to you by Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. Call Bill today at Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Furnace, hey, look, it's wintertime coming up. I know it doesn't seem like it's winter, but it's coming. The bitter cold, the snow, and everything else. You want to be warm and cozy. Well, guess what? You better get your furnace checked out. My suggestion, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Give Bill a call, 724-201-0500. Humidifiers, radiant floor, service contracts, heat pumps, air conditioners. While the weather's warm, get your air conditioner looked at. Put the tarp back on it. Snow melt, air cleaners, and UV lighting is very important. It gets dark early. How about getting some good lighting in outside your house? Call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning today and get on their website, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, and also on their Facebook page. Check out their specials and everything else there. Talk to Bill, 724-201-0500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. You ought to call Mata. All right. Okay, Bill, our Bonehead segment today is we're going to get started with the person who left a gun at the Lamont restaurant.
Solid. Solid.
Left the gun in the bathroom at the Lamont restaurant. The guy, listen to this. The guy who was on a date with a woman, and the guy's credit card got declined for the $40 check, and she had to pay for it. Oh, my. The Georgia man accused of stealing a bus and dumping the passenger at a Waffle House. Oh, my.
At least he got some good-ass food.
Royal Caribbean Cruise, listen to this one, had to leave passengers behind because they were overbooked. What a bonehead move that is.
It's a big ship, man.
My gosh. Well, you know what? No wonder nobody. I'm not going on no cruise.
No.
I'm not. And and you know what? I forgot to blast the federal government tonight for making the air traffic control system shorthanded. They're shorthanded with employees, equipment's antiquated, everything. All right. An Australian airline passenger got pulled off of a flight for fighting with another passenger. What a bonehead move that is. All right. Now, here's the best one of them all. A local lawyer who got caught by our friend Brian from 814 Predator. All right. He was caught. And in case you're not aware, watch one of our archived episodes. We interviewed Brian, what, about 2-3 weeks ago? I think it was. Yeah.
Something like that. It was before Thanksgiving for sure.
Right. Yeah. We interviewed Brian and he was on and he talked about his agency called 814 Predator. What they do is they get on these sites and where young girls are on there, or supposedly they think young girls are on there, and they get on there and it's called like that Catch a Predator show. Well, that's exactly what this is. So when the lawyer showed up, he saw Brian there, and he gave Brian a hard time. They had to call the police and have him arrested. I mean, you know, and now he's being held $50,000 bail. But that local lawyer, what a bonehead. All right, that is our bonehead segment for tonight, right here, brought to you by Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. Paul, I'm not sure who it was. They said a local lawyer. They did not give his name. Okay. I guess because of the nature of that crime, they decided not to give out his name. All right. Okay. Now we have our ridiculousness segment coming up, and that's brought to you by Fold and Travel Mobility. Are you in a wheelchair? Well, I am. I'm disabled. And look, I'm tired of not being able to go places because I don't have a power chair that I can fold up, put in my vehicle, and go. All right. Now I do. And I got it from foldandtravelmobility.com. Get on their website. Check out the models they have. If you have any questions, they have experts on the chat line and right on the website, or call them at 1-877-GOT-FOLD. Fold and Travel Mobility. Check out their specials. They're offering 50% off for the holidays. On you might not even pay that much for a folding power chair. Look, don't be sad. Be glad. Foldandtravelmobility.com or 1-877-GOT-FOLD. Fold and Travel Mobility. All right, the world of ridiculousness. All right, the judge tells a woman who threw a burrito at a Chipotle employee that she needs to, that instead of sentencing her to jail, he's sentencing her to work there for Chipotle. Oh, my. Subway, get this now, forcing franchisees to sell discontinued sandwiches because they're getting ready to sell the whole entire Subway franchise to Jimmy John's for $10 billion.
Oh,
That's ridiculous.
wow.
All right. Oh, here's a good one for you, Bill. And you know, you and I, we like this. Endless Shrimp at Red Lobster. Get this. Red Lobster went bankrupt for $11 million. They went bankrupt because they claimed that too many people were eating too much of the Endless Shrimp. So now they jacked the price up from $20 to $25. That's ridiculous. All right. A Baltimore school district worker who racked up over 200 hours in the last 2 months, 200 hours of sick pay in the last 2 months because she was mad at her boss. That's ridiculous. Just to be angry at your boss and go and do that.
Wow.
All right. The mother-in-law who installed a camera in the home she was living in with this couple, okay? She installed a camera so she could watch and listen when they fight and argue. Well, the couple got mad and found out about it. And when they found out, they kicked her out of the house.
Oh, man.
They kicked her out of the house. All right, that was our ridiculousness segment brought to you by Fold and Travel Mobility. Foldandtravelmobility.com. Get a power wheelchair that folds so that you're not inconvenienced anymore as a handicapped person. I have one. I am handicapped, and yes, I am going to enjoy it every which way I can. So you need to enjoy it as well. 1-877-GOT-FOLD and talk to one of the professionals there, or get online at foldandtravelmobility.com. All right. Okay. Our next segment is our key topics. But first, Bill's segment here about driving. Bill's going to tell us his week this week with the people out on the road. And I got to tell you a couple of things too. So it's actually going to be our personal stuff that we did this week or whatever. But I got a couple of things for you. But this segment here that Bill's going to do is brought to you by P6 Auto Detailing. in New Kensington. Call them today, 412-965-6578. Let the experienced people detail your car. That number again, 412-965-6578. Okay, Bill, go ahead.
I don't know how this didn't make him, brother. I didn't tell you this for a reason because I want to see your expression on this. So I'm no longer living in the city. So I'm out in the suburbs and I'm closer to the turnpike. So I take the turnpike quite frequently, in and out, in and out. Well, it was last week, last Thursday. I took it 3 times. On my 3rd time coming in, when the most traffic was starting to come about. So in the turnpike, there's only 2 lanes. On the exits, they become 3 and 4 lanes. Okay, now I come back off, coming in towards Greensburg, right? Guy was in the fast lane. Well, he comes behind me. I'm in the slow lane. I'm behind an 18-wheeler. He's behind me. He zips, passes me. Now listen to this. The median, the cement barrier, the guy who was in the fast lane was closer to the rig. So he decides he wants to go around the car that's near the cement barrier. And he passes the guy in the fast lane off the cement barrier without harm to his car. How do you do that? I thought there was going to be a 20-car pileup. So I'm behind this 18-wheeler on the turnpike, behind a rig. Guy was behind me. He zips in the fast lane behind this other guy. The guy who was originally in the fast lane moves a little bit closer to the rig, gives that guy just enough. And it was a big vehicle. It wasn't like nothing small, like a Mini Cooper. Right. It was like a truck. He missed the barrier. He missed the car. He missed everything. I thought for sure.
That's what they get for that, man.
I mean, you want to talk about praying all the way down the road? I'm like, what in the hell are these people doing? I'm telling you what, it's going to be to where the future is upon us, and Back to the Future, we're going to be right there. The DeLoreans, we're going to be flying in the air, and there's going to be a lot of air crashes. Instead, watch what happens.
Oh yeah, it's terrible out here, man. These people get their license out of a gumball machine.
I'm telling you,
a Cracker Jack box or something. It's terrible out here. I was out Saturday, and it was. I go out 28, and you got this construction, and you got all these narrow lanes right around the Highland Park Bridge. Now they're talking about Harmer going out past the mills all the way out to Creighton. I think they're going to be doing some stuff now. I don't know what's going on with this Route 28 stuff, but they need to really do something with this. They're milking a couple of these jobs. There's construction everywhere for that. And you know what I forgot about tonight, Bill? Here we go.
What's up?
You didn't know?
I was.
Your ass better call somebody.
Yes, that's right. You better call somebody.
It's never too late. Never too late, folks.
Never too late. All right, there we go. All right, so anyway, I didn't want to forget that, but I was out on Friday, and I took my dog to the groomer. Decided to stop at a Shop and Save, and I'm not going to say which one. We went into the Shop and Save, or we were trying to get the attention of the person who was doing the carts. Totally ignored us. Well, here I come to find out that we talked to the manager, and the kid is mentally challenged. He's 35 years old with a 15-year-old mentality.
Gotcha.
Okay. For the safety of the employees, they're not allowed to walk up to cars and talk to people. They've had knives pulled on them. Somebody had a gun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say what Shop and Save it is, but we stopped at one, and that's what we were told. But the key point of why I'm talking about this tonight, everybody, is you have a guy like this who's working and pushing carts and doing work. We got healthy people out here, and we can't cover what we have. And there's $45 an hour jobs out there. Okay. And Saturday, when I did my DJ gig, I ran into some nice kids who actually helped me load my Jeep with my equipment. And I really appreciate that. Nice kids. And I spoke to them. They go to school, they're in high school or graduating or whatever. This was a birthday party, and they were there, and they're making something of themselves. And that's what a lot of these kids need to do. They need to start making something of themselves and quit worrying about, I'm going to go to school to be a video design technician, or I'm going to design videos. What videos? She can kill somebody? Is that where we're at?
Brother, I'm gonna tell you something. That's awesome, and I hope that. And that just brought something to my mind. I hope that that next generation that's coming up is pulling
Yes,
up the fact that these people are losing in this one right now.
absolutely.
You know what I
Abs-
mean? Because
Yes,
those kids are, are looking out for themselves. That is awesome. That is freaking fantastic. And
right.
I definitely applaud them. And it's like my daughter down here in Florida.
Yes, absolutely,
The mooch.
absolutely.
I mean, she's making absolutely wonderful money down here.
Oh yeah, there's
Absolutely.
good clubs out here. Cohen, we went to a restaurant in South Park to eat on Friday, and there was a Cohen that's opening up right across the street. You know what their starting pay is?
Yeah.
18.87 an hour.
Wow.
Starting pay at a Cohen.
They're
And
popping up.
Sheets is offering an extra $5 an hour if you work overnight on top of the starting pay. So if their starting pay is $18 an hour, you can make $23 an hour to work overnight.
Yes. Yes.
And that's from 10 at night till 6, 7 in the morning or whatever it is.
That's awesome. I
Okay.
mean, these are entry level jobs that back in our days were
Oh gosh, you were minimum wage.
Yeah,
You
if
know, I
you're
mean,
making $8 to $10 an hour,
yes.
now you're above and beyond all that. Hopefully the workforce will get a whole hell of a lot better. That's what we're hoping for. That's what the
I,
thing.
I hope and pray for that. And
But
and we need to do that because this is terrible. I've never seen anything like this. And I want to say something else too. I have sponsorship advertisers for my programs. If you have a business, you could be a sponsorship advertiser. And let me give you a little something here. My advertising rates are nowhere near what people are paying. I've had three potential clients that I spoke to in the last 4 days. And you know what they told me? One of them said, "Ralph, I spent $6,000 on advertising. $6,000 on advertising." And another guy I spoke with said he spent $4,000 on advertising. Okay, and then I told you about that client I had last Saturday who decided to buy a billboard instead of dealing with
yeah,
me. And then there was another guy on this block who has a business decided to go with a flyer in the mail, a mail flyer. Those things are expensive,
yes
and
they
I
are.
don't get this. And I'm tired of hearing people say they don't have the money. Okay. I reached out to prominent businesses and they don't even want to deal with me. And my rates are not that expensive. And you get four podcasts. You get 2 national shows and you get a radio show. Okay. What else you can't get what I'm charging with all that. Plus, for an extra $100, you get 1 year of button advertising on my website. www.rwmedia.org. So call 412-545-4317 for sponsorship advertising. Don't be like that business I spoke to. $6,000 in advertising. $6,000. You know where we go for our doctor's appointments, Billy?
Well, yeah,
They spent thousands of dollars for TV ads. I talked to them there. When I saw them on TV, because they're looking for help and
yeah,
patience,
yeah.
I saw an ad and I called them up and I said, "Hey, look," I says, "how about?" They said, "We spent thousands of dollars and they signed a 1 year contract with a company."
I thought that was just inside of the centers where we would go when we would sit there. They would have them TVs on. That's all I thought, but I didn't know they actually had an ad.
Yeah, they had an ad
Wow,
that's on TV. It's on
Did,
all the networks,
didn't
all
know that.
2, 11, and 4.
Didn't know that. Did not
Actually,
know
it's
that.
more on 2 because it's with CBS, who has several radio stations in this town, and it's on there too.
Gotcha.
So on some of their radio outlets. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought that was inside.
Yeah. No, 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 no. That was out there. I've seen it. Okay. Let's get started with our key topics. All right. You have anything to add, Bill, before we get started with
No,
our key topics?
it's just no. I mean, 2 out of the 3 daughters are working, and I mean, it's awesome. I appreciate that, and I appreciate what you're saying. That makes me feel really good because you didn't tell me that, and that was awesome. So I
Yeah.
proceed forward with all this. This is good. On a
Yeah,
good
it
note, sure.
is. It is. And, I appreciate the fact that people work hard out there. And you got people that are not mentally retarded and are really totally healthy. And we have a pretty good idea who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Sits at home and plays Xbox and PlayStation all day, smokes and drinks beer, and he's capable of working, and he don't want to go out and work.
That's
You know,
that's sad.
he's turned down $30 an hour jobs in his trade.
I wish.
Okay. Yeah.
I wish that was what we were
School
making.
bus driving now they're paying a ton of money.
I know, $22 I seen.
$22 an hour for Pittsburgh Public Schools.
Whew.
I remember when I did that, I made $10, $12, $13 an hour. I made.
It was the most I've ever made was at North. I
Right.
made $14.50 out that way, and I
Yeah.
was paid all day, not back like in the city, like where you routes are broken up. Unless you had some run in between there, I was only making 8 to 10 back there. So I
Right.
wasn't even. I was driving big bus. I wasn't driving little buses. You know, I was driving small shuttles in the afternoon. I was trying to pick up extra work to keep me on the clock.
Right.
But
Right.
North was the best. But I mean, otherwise,
I did that when I worked for First Student. I did
okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I used to work in between. I would do some sick kids or
yeah.
whatever, you know.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, so we're good with that. Move forward, bro. That's awesome.
all right, let's do this. Brighton Healthcare Center. They're at it again. They're in the news. This time they have supervisors telling employees to tell the state on their documentation paperwork that they send to the state, because obviously they're still getting funding for COVID. All right. And supposedly, in order to get this, they have to have so many people working and working hours. Well, these supervisors at Brighton Healthcare told their employees that they were going to get fired if they didn't milk the bill. So
Catch-22 situation. I don't, man, that's crazy.
yeah. And here's a health center that had a ton of deaths, couldn't handle COVID.
Yep.
Didn't have enough employees. They had to bring in the National Guard, which was sad.
Yep.
And now they're in the news again. They just keep on laying an egg, soiling the bed, as they say, with stupid things. And they were not only, I blasted them tonight, but they're bonehead and ridiculousness, because it's all three of them, because of this is just totally unbelievable. What do you think about this, Bill? What's your thoughts?
I think it's a sad. I know you don't remember my dad's sister Anna. I don't think you've ever met her. She passed away before we actually became what
friends,
we are.
right?
Yeah, and she was at that center. She was at that center, and that was back. Now you're talking 10, 12 years ago, and it was starting to deplete back then. Right. I don't want to get into it. But I think it's very sad.
Yes,
because these people are putting people in there to get their health care that those people need, and then you're going to have goofy employees that are coming in who's working 8 to 12 hours, milking the clock, doctoring the books, and getting all that stuff looking good for the government. It's sad because that's where the mistakes happen. That's where everything happened.
Yes.
So it's very sad. I think it's sad. I just think it's.
It's a terrible situation. It really is. I think it's awful, and I think that they need to be hauled to the carpet, and I hope they do. I mean,
absolutely. I mean, you're worried about now people filling jobs, and you're gonna put their job in jeopardy because they
had books. Yeah.
So what's that going to do?
It's exactly.
It's
So they have egg on their face again.
Big time.
And you know what? Big time egg. All right. That's the way we see it tonight about Brighton Health Center. Next, the district justice. Here we go again. Here we are. Another progressive district justice let some kid out who was arrested by the Pittsburgh police, who put a lot of effort into this, arrested this kid for terrorism with an AK-47. When he got arrested, they found an AK-47 on him.
An assault rifle. Ain't this
an assault rifle? And the district justice releases this kid to his parents.
And how old was this kid, brother? I didn't ask that.
Think about 16 or no, 14. 14-year-old child here.
So that opens up another can of worms. So 14, 16-year-old, we'll say for argument's sake, 16. All right.
16. Yeah.
16 years old, walking around with an AK-47 assault rifle to get into the school.
Right. Yeah. Well, he was trying to, I think he was doing one of the synagogues or one of the schools, the Hamas or whatever. I think that's what he was involved in, or what he was involved in something. And they arrested him. And Larry Sherrod, the chief of police for the city of Pittsburgh, and I don't blame him for being angry. I would be too. He said this can't go on. And Schumann Center is supposed to be opening real soon. Adelphoi Schumann Center is
Okay.
supposed to be opening up the end of this month. They're going to house 12 juveniles to get started, and then they're going to go. They're going to be able to take it to capacity by the end of next year.
Well, I hope it does. I hope it does because, littering, keep slapping people, and especially with an assault rifle. Come on, man. I mean, like being homeless and committing crimes is like the way to be anymore, it seems. You're just going to slap your wrist, you're going home, and you can play your video games.
Commit crimes.
Yeah, commit crimes. Commit crimes, being homeless, go down to the William Penn, go ahead and infiltrate that.
Oh, no. Here's the best one of them all. When Bethany Hallam was on that tour, I told you with Marty Griffin about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. He says, well, what do you think about people peeing downtown? You know what she said? We need to build more public bathrooms because there's no place for people to pee. What kind of an answer is that? This is why I'm running for county council at large.
So what are you going to do? Have lined up porta potties all the way down Fifth Avenue, Forbes, and everything else. Is that what you're doing? Okay. Can you imagine?
Then she blames the businesses for it. Well, they won't let nobody use the bathroom. Well,
you blame them.
They let them use the bathroom, and people get high in there. They do drugs. They overdose. They sleep in the stalls.
Yeah.
They tear up the toilets. They do dumb things. Break the mirrors. I've gone in there already where they tore out the soap dispenser. I
don't blame those businesses not one bit at all because that's your people, for your customers who are patronizing your store to come on in there. And then when they have to use the restroom for those people there and they come in, you're going to come in and come do a commode with no commode seat on it. What are you going to do?
Yeah. And then I'll tell you another good one. With the McDonald's on Wood Street, the one that used to be there, you know why they went out of business, don't you? They got sued because that employee chased that guy out of the restaurant and beat him up right out on Wood Street. I mean, she literally beat the crap out of this guy.
Oh my gosh.
And they got sued. The owner got sued that owns that McDonald's, and he had to close it down. So when they closed it down, I used to go in there when I would go into town for something or in between buses or whatever, and I'd go in there and get some breakfast. There was bums sitting in there, but you know what? They put a 20-minute seating limit. They had to do that to keep the bums from hanging out there. Yeah. And then on top of that, you had to buzz. They had to buzz you into the bathroom, and if you didn't buy something, you couldn't use it. Okay. All right.
I mean, unfortunately, it had to be like that.
That's the way it is. But now they got porta potties there. They got flush parties downtown. They got a set on Smithfield, and they got a set on Gateway Center down by the subway T station. Okay. And so there you go, Bethany. They got a place to go to the bathroom. So that way nobody urinates all over the city.
They should knock on her back door if they have to use the bathroom.
Oh, I'll urinate on her back porch.
Bethany, can I please urinate?
yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is that here we are again with these progressives, okay? Letting kids out with an AK. Then they made the excuse, well, we had no place to put them. What are you talking about? You got a jail. Put them in the jail, okay? Oh, we can't do that. They don't have no programs for them at the jail.
So what's it going to be like then when Schumann Center gets reopened? What's it going to be like? Are they going to say, oh, they don't have a program for them? So they're just going to just like, what is that? Just going to be another
I don't know. I don't know what Adelphoi does, but I do know if Adelphoi was that bad, okay, why did Judge Clark, who's the chief judge, decide to go with these people? There has to be a reason. They control most of the juvenile facilities in Pennsylvania.
I think they're going to do just fine, brother.
Good track record from what I hear, but I heard there's been some things there. But of course, everybody always cries wolf when their kid's in jail. Oh, my kid got beat up there, or my kid did this, or my kid did that. Well, first of all, if your kid wasn't out there committing crimes because you're a bad parent, maybe that stuff wouldn't go on. Okay? All right? And it boils down to parenting. This is another story. Why is a 14-year-old child or a 16-year-old child walking around with an AK-47? Where's the parents? Those that have them.
The worst part is where did this child get it from? What part? This is the sad part. This is the thing.
But see, here's the thing too, Bill. The mayor blames the federal government. Instead of talking about and crying the blues and blaming the federal government, How about stepping up patrols, or how about starting a task force on gun violence and getting some of these guns off the street, get a task force started? How about working together with the state police and the FBI and get a task force together?
Make a more
I just came up with a
punishable,
simple plan
make a more punishable system for these people, man.
for these people, right?
You know, because that, I mean, I understand it's always going to be around. Somebody's always going to try to get around something, brother. You know
Yes.
that, okay? That's
Yes.
the whole thing. But if you start to kind of clamp it down a little bit, man, or try
Yeah.
to do something, I mean, come on, that's just sad. This is a 16-year-old kid running around with an assault rifle.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
It's sad. It breaks my heart, man, because, you know, we got the kids, and my kids would do that. That's another story, another segment, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's we'll continue on here with our key topics. Let's talk about the 10 cents for a paper bag in the city of Pittsburgh. Now, I'm hearing stories that this is a hidden tax. Okay, a hidden tax.
Um,
All
so the last time I was there, I got charged because they asked me, okay.
Yeah.
But then, of course, the managers and I was like, I didn't know this, and she's like, oh, don't worry about it. So she kind of let that slide. So if it's a hidden tax, so that means when you're bagging their stuff, there's going to be 10 cent more added onto your bill. Is that what they're saying? Because
Well, yeah. If you have food stamps, they're not supposed to charge you. Okay. So when I go to the Dollar General down the street here, and I need a paper bag, if I don't use my food stamp card, okay, what happens is they charge me 10 cents for a paper bag. All right. And that's what they're doing at the stores right now. And I hear it's a hidden tax. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, because they asked me, and I'm like, oh, I forgot, and you know, like I said, I knew the manager, and she let me go anyway, but it was okay. But now I got them in the back of my car just in case if I go back down into Pittsburgh, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
All
absolutely.
right, let's talk about this priest stole from the church. And while we're talking about priests, nursing homes, who do you trust? Who can you trust? The three things, Bill, that are supposed to be the three places that a child can go is the church, the home, and the school. And some of this, you can't trust some of the churches. You can't trust a lot of the schools,
Right.
and you can't trust the home. Okay. This is why we have what we have. And now we have priests stealing money. An assistant priest down in Cannonsburg at a church there, stealing money from his own flock. From his own flock, Bill.
And I can't even imagine. I know those churches down there are big too.
They are huge. The one that he was at is huge. I saw it with my own eyes.
I can't even imagine. I mean, I know $38,000 is a good amount of change, but taking it from the church
itself, yeah. Well, what happened was they did an audit, and they found out that he was using the church credit card and using it for his own personal use.
Oh, I got you.
I guess paying his bills or doing whatever. Maybe he
You
went
know
to
what?
the casino. I don't know.
That takes me to this next segment because of the same thing. But this guy, I think, was down in Florida or Georgia. He was a black dude, and he was buying Gucci purse or Gucci suits and frames and all that stuff. Buying Rolls Royces and so forth. They actually drug him to the carpet. He was on TV, and they drug him to the carpet. And they says, "So you bought a $2.5 million mansion?" Oh, well, that's for church meetings and this and that. I mean, he's making every kind of excuse. You bought a $120,000 automobile. Well, that's for so I can get there. And you got a Learjet. A Learjet. So it's like, wow. So he was taking it and just having a ball, man. But he was sitting there. He's like, well, no, that was for, so I can arrive in style. And everything they threw at him, he threw back at them. But you could tell he's putting his foot in his mouth because he's like, well,
exactly. How do you explain that?
I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, how do you explain that? I mean, how do you explain people who don't even have money that actually donate to the church? Okay. And how do you justify yourself as a person that represents the Lord?
Yeah.
Okay. When you're a priest or a pastor in this country, you represent the Lord.
Absolutely.
The church is his house. So you're not only stealing from the people, you're stealing from the Lord.
Yes, that's right. It's true. That's
Okay,
100% accurate, brother. You know,
you're stealing from the Lord.
but this is another thing too. What's a Learjet cost? Like several million.
Oh gosh, man, it costs a lot of money, Lear jets. Plus, you got to pay a pilot.
There it is. So they're like, well, why do you need a Learjet? So I can get to my people with. I was
Oh,
like,
jeez.
oh my god. So same
Hey,
principle.
somebody's going to show up at my house, pick me up in a Lear jet.
Don't
He
worry
said
about it.
it
I
was
got my
for his
copter in the
people.
backyard.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
got my
yeah,
copter in the backyard, folks. Don't worry about it.
yeah. You got the runway pad in the backyard.
And there it is. I got the chop. I got the copper.
Hey,
We're good to go. Don't worry about it. I got the Benz, the
hey,
rolls, everything's sitting outside.
I gotta take an Uber to go to the county airport to get the Lear jet to go to church.
I don't know what it is, boy. I tell you, man, that's a
That's,
shit.
that's funny.
It's
Well,
crazy.
that other priest I talked about, he was from Florida. He was having sex with a parishioner. This
Oh,
other priest or this pastor or whatever. Yeah. But the question I have for everyone tonight, who do you trust? You put your loved one in a nursing home, you can't trust them. Look what happened to my first wife, Janice.
yes.
I had issues with that nursing home.
I remember.
Okay. And you can't trust them anymore. They charge an arm and a leg and they don't pay their employees. And then, you wonder why your loved one gets treated, badly. And my mother and I, we used to go see this woman because she had no family. We used to go see this woman up at the Manor Care up in Mount Lebanon, okay, up there on Green Tree Road.
Yeah.
And she's passed now. We used to go up and see her. She was 92 years old. God
Ooh.
bless her. And she died. She was like 96 when she died. But we used to go up and see her all the time. She had no family. And I used to pick an employee up there when I drove a cab, and that employee said, "This is the place to drop grandma." That's what that employee told me.
Wow, that's so
And
sad.
this lady that we went up to see said, "This is the place where the family dumps you when they don't want nothing to do with you anymore."
That's so
And I'm
sad.
not saying that goes on all the time. There are good people out here who actually, because their loved one needs to be in a nursing home
Yeah.
or they can't take care of them, and they go visit them. I mean, I'm not saying everybody does it, but the majority of the people that put their loved one in a nursing home is because they don't want to take care of them. They're lazy and they don't see them. They just leave them there. It's like, oh, well, it's interfering with my life, so screw it. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
And they take your money. They
Oh,
take
yeah.
your check. They take
Oh,
everything.
yeah. Yes, they do.
And you got employees in these places like that one nursing home. What was that one lady that just got convicted? What, about a month ago or something? She was in all these different places and they never did background checks on her because they're so desperate for help. They didn't do a background check on this woman.
Can't remember because I remember us.
I forget where it was at though, but it was
Yeah.
in a nursing facility and she abused patients there.
Oh yeah, patients, their prescriptions, and all kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
There's a personal care home. Remember my sister-in-law, Patty?
yeah.
She was in Otten Moon, and I'm not going to name the name. Okay.
Okay. All right.
We went in there when I was seeing my girlfriend at the time after my wife died. We went up to go get Patty because she would come to my house on some weekends. Okay. So I go up to go get Patty. I walk in, it's 10 o'clock at night, and there's this guy in there, and he's high as a kite. All right. Patty told me he was dealing drugs right out of that place. Okay. Then he had what they call those horse books. You know those books you use at the track?
I
What do
do.
they call those books?
The bet.
Cheat sheets or something or whatever. Yeah.
I got you. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So he was looking through all them books and he was watching horse racing and using the phone and calling in bets on the horse racing. And then he would sleep on the couch. And if you needed your medication or you needed something, you couldn't wake him up because he was so high on drugs. This was at a personal care home, Bill, that's licensed by the state. Okay. You should have seen some of the sick stuff I seen when my first wife was in a nursing home. You should have seen some of the sick stuff I saw.
Oh, you was telling me some of that stuff, and I remember it. I remember.
Yeah. And then the one night when I was at one of the pizza shops over in Squirrel Hill on my way home from visiting Janice. And the pizza shop said, "Oh yeah, we got the sixth floor who don't answer the phone." And they don't. The phone just rings, nobody answers it. So one time, one of their staff up there on the sixth floor got ignorant with me, and I walked by, and the lady was talking, and she said, "Shh, he tells administration." I said, "That's right, I go to administration because you don't do your job." You know what I mean?
He
And
tells.
yeah, it was so bad there, Bill. that I gave the flowers from Janice's funeral to the floor she was on. You know, they turned them down. They wouldn't take them
Wow.
because the home got mad at me
What
because I went to administration all the time.
was the sixth floor something special, or was it just regular?
No, they just it was just a regular floor,
Oh,
but they
okay.
never answered the phone. And when the delivery driver would go there, he'd have to wait downstairs for 10, 15 minutes. They would never answer the phone.
Oh my
And you
God.
can't get in because there's security there. They
Yeah.
wouldn't let you go up with the
Yeah,
food.
exactly.
And I get it. I delivered pizza. I remember those days. You had to get on. You had to wait for somebody to come and get it. You
That's
know,
crazy. That's crazy.
it is. It's nuts. They wouldn't answer the phone up there. And then you're standing there for 15, 20 minutes. I might not even get a tip.
Oh,
You know?
that'd be highly doubtful from there.
Oh, yeah. All right, next, Bill, on our key topics tonight, the State House. They'll be ashamed of themselves. They want to stop the funding for daycares. Okay, if you stop the funding for daycares, you know daycare had to raise their wages too for people. All right, and I did a gig about two summers ago at this house in Fox Chapel, and the lady says to me, she goes, Ruff, she says, I own a daycare. I said, oh, really? And she goes, yeah, she spoke broken English. And she goes, I have a daycare. I can't get people to work. She says, I pay good money. She says, I'm there all day and night. She says, it's disgusting. And then she says, she interviews people, and the very first thing that comes out of her mouth, they didn't even start the interview yet. Do I have to work holidays and weekends?
Of course.
She's open on Saturday, but she's not open on Sunday. So obviously you'd have to work one weekend day.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
She said that this person actually said, I will not work holidays and weekends. She told him to leave. She said she can't get help. Nobody wants to work. And in her country, I think she's from Turkey. She says they wouldn't put up with that in Turkey or whatever, you know? Yeah. So, yeah. So, here we are with this again, but the state legislature, the state house, you need to vote these people out, folks. And if they're progressive Democrats like I think they are, yeah, vote them out. Okay? Because this is unacceptable. And these are Republicans that are saying this. The Republicans are saying that the Democratic State House will not pass a bill to keep daycares going. Okay?
That is
That
so sad.
and that affects children, Bill.
And families.
That's like a nursing home and a medical center not doing their job. What does that affect?
Everybody, brother.
Their health.
Everybody. Family, their health. Everything. It impacts everything, especially the families who have to be like some of these people are doctors, some of these people are lawyers, some of these people are gone in the early AM parts of the hours, and they rely on them daycares to be open to take care of that child or their children. Now they're going to go ahead and not pass the bill and then start shutting and not give the funding for that. That's ridiculous. You might as well just say, hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. So the working family who usually would go in at like say 7 a.m,
yes,
because they're shutting daycare centers down. Well, you can only go 7 a.m, but you ain't going to be able to do it no more because they're shutting us down. So you're going to have to cut your hours back.
Yeah, exactly. Or you know what? Here's what these Democrats in the House are saying.
Wow, that's
they don't need daycares. People are working from home now.
Some people are. That's true. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
But on the other
not
part
everybody
of it, like I'd say 70% of the world's probably back to where they need to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Going into offices and so forth like that.
Well, it's down in downtown, Bill. There's a lot of empty office buildings. A lot of office people avoided their leases, and their employees stay home and work. So with this crap that was going on downtown for a while there, that didn't help the issue either.
You're right.
So
I forgot about that. Yeah, they got big buildings.
That's all another animal for another show.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, let's talk about Bon Journey, one of the best Bon Jovi Journey tribute bands in Western Pennsylvania, the best. All right, Saturday, December 16th, they will be at the Big Bar up in Erie. The Big Bar.
Big one.
Not the small bar.
Not the medium, but the big one.
But the Big Bar. Yeah. In Erie, Pennsylvania, and December 22nd. How about this for a Christmas gift? Why don't you take your other half and go to Jurgles on Brush Creek Road in Warrendale and see on the 22nd.
Well, you
Well,
know what? Well, I tell you what, my brother, I catch me a girl.
Rob plays bass there for that.
Hey, listen, I catch me a girlfriend before the holidays. I'll be going up to check them out. How's
there you
that?
go. Go check them out at Jurgles. But let me tell you this, okay? And I tell everybody this all the time when
It's
I
a
talk
pain.
about Journey.
It's a pain.
Okay, you got to get there super early to get
Yep.
a table.
Yeah.
Do not go there late because you will be sorry. You'll have to stand.
Yep.
Okay.
I know what you mean.
And I went there for Charlie Daniels, and I went there several times to see Bon Journey. And I tell you what, it was a mess. And I'm in a wheelchair. I can't stand. Try to look over people's heads. You know, it's terrible. And if you're not there and you don't have a table, forget it. Okay, because everybody stands and lines up there. You know, so it's first come, first serve. What they call it, general admission or whatever. But you can, if you get there super early, you can get a table. And, you know, if you get a table, you buy an appetizer or a drink and just sit there at the table and watch the show the rest of the night. But please, I advise you, if you're going to Jurgles for any show, please make sure you are aware that you'll have to stand. Okay?
Yeah, it sucks. The space up there is very, very limited, folks, for
right, it is. It is. It's good space.
It's
I mean, if you can get the right spot, it's a good place to watch a show.
Absolutely. It's very nice atmosphere, too, folks.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, how'd you like those videos I sent you today about David Lee Roth with Jimmy Kimmel? When Van Halen played, he had that Band-Aid on his nose. Oh, I don't even want to go there. It was so hilarious.
I kept rewinding it for that segment. That's what I'm going to do, fall off the stage and have a big...
You know what? Eddie Van Halen fired him after that. He quit. He told him, get out of here. He says, you're done. You know what I mean? Because they were embarrassed. That was right on national TV.
He looked like an ass, Ralph.
People were pissed, too, because they were late getting started because of him.
He looked like an ass. He wasn't. I mean, that's crazy. That's absolutely
Why would
crazy.
you go to a bar and drink before you need to do a show? Why would you even do that? But that's David Lee Roth, because he's an idiot.
Okay. There you go.
He's a complete idiot.
You said it for both of us, brother. You said it for both of us.
All right, Mayor Gainey went to a conference in Washington, D.C. this week, or he's going to be there for a week. So he won't be in town to cry and complain about everything instead of doing something about it. He's at this conference, and I'm wondering if all the progressives are there, about how they can make it a downtown for everybody, a city for everybody, a county for everybody, a state for everybody, a federal government for everybody. That's the progressive movement for everybody.
That's like an issue of...
We want to make this show for everybody.
So you know what it is? I'm going to tell you what it is. That's like The Walking Dead, some of their issues where they block off little towns and only certain people can get in. They keep the dead out. Well, that's what you're going to have to do, people. So start to get the hammers, the nails.
I've never seen The Walking Dead. I never watched it.
Oh, my gosh. The hammers, the nails. Oh, me and the mini mooch used to watch it all the time, man. We would be up in my bedroom at 9 o'clock on that Saturday to watch that. I'm telling you, she was all
Sunday. It's usually on Sunday, I think.
Whatever it was, like Saturday or Sunday or whatever it was. But we get the popcorn. It was like a big thing. We were like at a little...
It was a theater movie or something.
Yeah, it was like... And the mooch, she wouldn't even watch it. You just, you guys, I can't. I'm going to go in my room. You go ahead and go play on your phone. We're going to watch it. Goodbye. Go ahead. We get the popcorn. We got the peanuts. We got the Hershey's. We got the Reese's. We got it going on, brother. Let me tell you. And we were just standing. So that was me and the father-daughter date right there. And for an hour and 20 minutes to watch The Walking Dead.
But we're going to make a city for everybody. A county for everybody.
The Walking Dead.
Yep. We're going to make it for everybody. And that's the way we see it tonight. Because I'm not going any further with that.
What I tell you, brother, two things that don't go together: oil and water, and Don King and a comb, baby. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work.
All right, here was a last-minute key topic tonight. Pittsburgh Police Department. Okay. They're only budgeted for 850 cops for 2024. They've had numerous retirements. Okay. And they have raised their pay. They have a new contract. They finally got a pay raise. First one in 10 years. First pay raise in 10 years.
City cop.
Benuto kept saying that he didn't have the money, and he was pissed off at the police because they didn't support him when he ran for mayor. Okay. Anyway, so he did a lot for the fire department, the paramedics, and all that, but he didn't do anything for the city police, and that's a shame. All right. Well, come to find out, I saw a report tonight that says that the Pittsburgh police are shorthanded real bad because of retirements. And get this, a lot of them are quitting because of that new schedule setup. I think we talked about that a few shows ago.
We did.
They have a new schedule set up, and the police don't like it. They say it's dangerous, it's not going to work, and they're still going to be shorthanded. So Larry Scarrato has a task at hand here, and the task is he's going to have to do something with that schedule. He's going to have to go back to doing something. He wants to have one zone for overnight only, one zone. So which means if you commit a crime in
That's-
Southside and zone 3 is not open for the night, you have to go. Somebody from another zone's got to come.
That's
But
good.
see,
What a delay.
what he wants to do is, like, for instance, let's say zone 4, which is Squirrel Hill and all that there, okay, Lincoln Place and all that. Let's say, for instance, there's no crimes going on in zone 4, and they're having a big scuttlebutt over on the south side. They want you to go over to the south side. You catch what I'm saying? That's what
Yep.
Scarrato wants to do for the overnight shift. He wants to have available police everywhere instead of having them just in one zone. Okay. So, which then means you're going to have to study the city, and you're going to have to know where you're going in the city. And if you don't know where you're going, it's going to take you longer to get there. Do you see what I mean? You know, so it's almost like when I drove a cab. If you didn't know where you were going, you had to either look it up in the old Rand McNally map book or pull out one of them folding maps. Remember them things?
Yeah, well, here, we'll take it back just a little bit a couple years ago, and I'm not going to say no names here, but I know you know who I'm talking about here, brother. At an Andy Grammer concert, didn't even make it out of the parking lot.
Didn't even make it out of the parking lot. Got busted for a DUI. Didn't even make it out of the parking lot. Oh my God! You know what? I couldn't believe it when you had that girlfriend, man. She was something. She was a trip, man. She was a trip. Remember we did that gig at the old Sokol Club, and she staggered up the steps. And,
Oh,
and I'm DJing, and you know when we partner up, I DJ, and you walk around and shake hands and say
yeah,
hi to
try to get some.
people and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah,
absolutely.
market everything. Yeah. So I'm up her work, and she come up and start talking about her daughters. I said, "Look, I'm busy. I'm working. Leave me alone." You know what I mean? You know, I was like, "Oh my gosh."
That phone
And the
call came in.
and the girlfriend I had at the time said, "Oh, she's really drunk." I said, "No kidding." You know what I mean? You
The
know?
phone call that came in. You remember that? Hey, they took my car. I'm down in
They
McKeesport Police.
impounded my car. I mean, yeah.
What
I'm in
happened?
McKees Rocks Police because McKees Rocks busted her at this. Oh man.
Oh, we didn't make it out of the parking lot. What?
Ugh.
Did you have a flat tire? What the hell's going on? Oh, yeah, we're intoxicated. Yeah, I think.
No, how
Yes,
about how
please.
many times she called? How many times she called and said she was out of gas? She
You know
said,
what? Yeah, out
"Yeah,
of
she
gas.
wanted one of us to leave the gig to go help her with gas." I'm like, "Get
Look,
out of here!"
You
You know
see
what
my
I mean?
hair, brother. You know, I'm starting to grow a little bit back, but you know,
Back,
I lost
yeah,
a lot of it.
I know. Oh man, and then it got so bad. AAA wouldn't even give her gas again. Remember that? Oh my! You should have seen the stories I told Rhonda. Oh my gosh, I told her some
Oh,
stories about that. Oh,
oh
that
my
was funny.
gosh. I mean,
So bad that AAA wouldn't even give her gas
yeah,
anymore.
that was
She,
sad.
that was a trip, man. That was
How
funny.
sad was that when we were going down to the church? It was around Christmas. It was a couple years ago. We were going down to church, and she was. The car was stuttering. And finally, she gets in front of the house, and it stalls out. I said, "What the hell's the matter?" She says, "I think I'm out of gas." You think you're out of
Oh,
gas? Did the
you think
gas
you're out of
gauge?
gas?
Did it?
Yeah.
Did it actually Did it malfunction? What is going on inside
And
of
she
the
used to laugh
dashboard?
at us because we would get $7 or $8 of gas and
Keep it
fill up our
full.
tank. But you know what? My car, my vehicle, okay, is 7 years old, and I still have the fuel pump.
Oh yeah,
You know why?
absolutely.
Because I fill my tank up with
That's it.
gas.
You
I
know,
never let it get down to that far.
I'm gonna tell you something real quick. Gas tank or fuel pumps, they were underneath the hood a long time ago. Now that
Right.
they're actually locating the gas tanks, my father always told me, he said, "Billy, listen," he said, "if you're gonna drive, just make sure keep it 3/4 filled in the winter and
Right.
half in the summer. It will save the fuel pump." Well, brother, I always keep it filled.
Oh, I know about that because you know why? When I worked at Yellow Cab at the tail end of when I worked there before I quit, okay, uh, they were telling us we didn't have to fill the tanks up. It was responsible for the new person taking it. Before, when I first started there, when Janice and I first started there, you had to leave it filled up, all right, before you went home. Okay, and then if you didn't, they would charge you. Well, then when they stopped having somebody there to pump gas, you were responsible to fill it up. And then if you didn't fill it up, that was on you or on the other guy who was taking it over. So there were times when there was no gas in the tank, and you couldn't even make it from the garage to the nearest gas station because there was no gas in the tank.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh
then
man.
before you leave, you had to fill it up. Where in the past, before yellow cab got cheap, okay, they the tank was full. So let's say I'm leaving the garage and my phone rings and I got a steady customer wants to go to the airport. Oh, I can't pick you up. I got to go 2 miles down the road to go get gas, get stuck in traffic because I have to fill up with gas because I'm not gonna have enough to go to the airport.
Well, you know what, brother? You drove commercial, so did I. And all of
Yes,
my
I drove
commercial,
commercial, yes.
every single commercial vehicle that I was behind the wheel, folks, this is what they would do. If they found out that you were negligent about keeping the gas tank filled, because they had gas pumps on site.
Yes. Yeah,
So
they did.
if you didn't fill it up, they would dock your pay.
Well, when I worked at First Student, they did that. When you
Yes.
brought your bus back, you had to fill it up and park. Well, you had to park it too. You had to
Yes.
fill it up and park it.
Yes.
All right.
Especially
And
in the
I
wintertime
remember
with the
people
diesel.
that used to fill it up with gas and just leave it there and not
Yeah.
even park it.
Yeah. Yep.
And
So
yeah.
I just been one of those people, guys.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah. Oh man, that was so funny. The times that we were together on gigs and stuff, and she would call us up, scream, "Oh, I ran
was
out
it?
of gas. I'm
What was it?
stuck."
I think
You
it
know.
was that. I think it was pretty much close to the last part where it was good, pretty much goodbye for me and her, and that was this was before my this was after or before my grandbaby. So do you remember? We were at a gig, and I got the
Yes.
phone call. What did we do? 100 mile an hour down the freaking Parkway that night to get to the south side. You
To
remember?
get to the south side. Yeah, that was the time when her brother was supposed to go to some bar. He was
Yeah.
looking for a guy. He was going to shoot him or
Yeah.
something. And
I
she
was
was
like,
trying to stop him from doing that. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
now that was pretty much close to the end of
Yeah.
that relationship, folks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then she was drunk. And then you told her 100 times to get out of the vehicle, and she wouldn't get out. She just, stood there. I said, "Oh, come on." You know what I mean?
I'm not saying for anybody to do
That
100
was
miles
the
an hour to get
weekend.
to
That
the
was
stop
the
sign.
weekend we had 2 gigs too. And
Yeah,
then,
we did.
and then she wanted to come over to your house, and I stayed over at your house, and we went to the gig the next day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I said to myself, "That's ridiculous."
Yeah, that was but yeah, folks, don't do 100 mile an hour down the
Oh,
Parkway.
no. Then she wrecked her vehicle trying to do that
Yes.
100 miles an hour when her brother tried to jump off the
Jump
bridge.
off the bridge.
Remember that? Yeah. Her brother was committing suicide. And she went what, 120 miles an hour or something and totaled her car.
Off
Or
the
wrecked
south
it.
side slopes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Some
Man.
of the that could be a whole nother segment, brother. You know that. That could be a whole show itself.
We
I'm
could be here
telling
all
you,
night talking about that.
It'll
Man.
it'll keep the listeners and the viewers entertained for hours and hours and hours. Trust
man.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
no more of that.
Oh,
No, it's all good. But yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
here's the best one of them all. Here's the best one of them all. I watched the mediocre Mike Tomlin press conference. Okay, well, he was on today because they play New England on Thursday. He's usually on Tuesday. All right. Now he said that the injury report where he said Kenny Pickett was going to be out because he had a high ankle sprain. He had to get surgery. He's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. Okay. Now, do you know some knucklehead asked him, "Is Kenny Pickett could he play on Thursday?" What did he just say? What did he just say?
Selective hearing, brother. See, that thing is called a brain. It's the ears that catch these sound waves that go in there and catch in here. See, that brain has a hole in it. See, it just goes in one ear and not the other, and there's nothing there to catch the information.
Here, I'll tell you a real quick one. Bill, I was at the Bill Carr press conference when they were at Three River Stadium. Okay. And he comes out and he sits down. And the first thing he would do is give the injury report. He said Joel Steed will not play the rest of the season. He has a bad leg. Okay. His leg is injured. He's got to get surgery. That ended his career, Bill, and he's walking with a cane now.
Ooh.
Joel Steed. Okay. Anyway, he he had said that, and this kid was sitting there. He was brand new from Johnstown, from that TV station down there, and he goes, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "What's that?" He says, "This is my first time here. What do I say?" I said, "First of all, you don't call him Bill, you call him Coach, okay?
Yeah.
Until you earn his respect, then you call him Bill. Only selective reporters can call him Bill.
Yep.
I said, you call him Coach." And then I says, "Don't ask stupid questions, okay?" So what do you think? What question do you think he asked Bill Carr?
Is Joel Speed going to play this week?
Very good. Very good. Is Joe Steve going to play this week? And then, Cower went off on him. He went, "I just told you what's going on with Joel Steed. Don't you pay attention?" He said, "Joel Steed is out and he's not playing the rest of the season." So, and Tomlin kind of looked at this reporter like, "Really? You're asking me this question when I just told you?"
Are you
that
high at 9 o'clock in the morning? Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's so hilarious. No, he's not playing on Thursday. There's no way he's going to play. He just had surgery this morning. Come on,
Gosh. Well, unbelievable.
Well,
Folks, we're going to.
Smoking Jim told me an interesting story. He said when he used to work at the Greater Pittsburgh Courier and he was the chief editor there, he said, if I sent a reporter down there and he said, I told this reporter, don't come back and tell me you didn't ask him a question because you're fired. He said, I don't care if it's a stupid question. I want you to ask him a question. I send you down there for that.
Gotcha.
When he used to send his reporters down there, he said he'd fire him if they didn't ask.
Hey, I don't blame him.
Even if it said, I see you got new glasses or something. Something.
Hey, you got to tell the boys I said hello this week too.
Oh, I will do that. Yes, I will do that. But by the way, here's another good one. Okay, Bill Cowher. It was he gave the scenario on Ben's thumb. Remember when Ben hurt his thumb?
Yeah.
That time. And he says, well, here's the scenario about Ben's thumb. Do you know John Shumway, of all people you would think, was the one that started saying about Ben's thumb? And Carr went off and he went, come on, John. He says, I already told you about Ben's thumb. Who cares about Ben's thumb right now? I'm here to talk. It's about Ben's thumb. I was like, he said, come on, John, give me a break.
Why, people? Why?
But of all people, who would have thought John Shumway would have done that?
Exactly.
Some reporter in town, and I'm not going to mention any names, mentioned Antonio Brown. He said that our receiving corps is starting to, like Pickens and Dropson, Deontay Dropson. Are starting to act like Antonio Brown, right?
Uh-oh.
And so one of these reporters said they're starting to do that. Antonio Brown got on his Twitter X page and says, don't mention my effing name out of your effing old ass mouth or something like that ever again. I said, oh my gosh. Can you believe that?
Listen, I would have loved to have been the people.
Why I'm talking this stuff with you right now is because I don't have time tomorrow.
No, I got you.
I had one guest on for tomorrow. I had to have two because of this loss yesterday. So I had to have a Steeler guy come on.
Can you imagine being down in Florida or wherever he was with that home where he was throwing the stuff off the balcony?
Off the window.
Can you imagine the people walking by? They'd be like, look, George, it's some black guy throwing furniture off of the building, man. We must be free. Let's get it. Oh, wait, it's Antonio Brown.
I remember that time when our friend Brian was down at the DoubleTree down in Washington or in the Meadowlands. Remember that? No, wait a minute. Not just that guy. Remember he said they fired the whole staff because one of those natural gas workers had the window drapes open in the pool, and he was exposing himself right from the window. Remember that? And this little girl went, Mommy, looky, there's a naked man up there. Oh my gosh. And the whole staff, the management and everything all got fired. DoubleTree fired. Remember that?
That poor little girl was scarred for life. For life.
And they said that guy was a drunk. Because Brian said to me, he said, Ralph, that guy was a drunk. He says he was notorious for drinking, and he was standing up there. It was on the news, too. He was up there doing something with himself, and he was nude, naked. And this little girl said, because the mother said, my daughter come in and went, Mommy, there's a naked man up there in the window.
And poor kids. It's so sad. But I mean, can you imagine? I mean, that stuff.
I couldn't stop laughing when Brian told me that story. It was funny. And then the other one with the table with that guy.
Oh yeah, real fast. You see how fast he was. What's up, Brian? How you been, brother?
Came out, didn't you?
He goes, "Hey, get that table for this DJ right now."
He saw. I said, "Watch this." I says, "You went over to go say hi to Brian," and I said, "I told you, watch this. He's gonna change his tune real fast when he sees you shake hands." And guess what he did? He changed his tune. Oh, it was hilarious.
He
Oh,
said,
you know what?
Get that table. What are you doing?
We could sit here all night and talk like this.
All the
This is
time,
hilarious.
folks. All the time. You
This
guys
is
are great
hilarious.
audience and great
Oh,
viewers.
we have a great audience. We really do. I thank everyone
Absolutely.
for watching as well.
Yeah.
I want to
Yes.
talk to you today about draft412.com. Draft412.com has the skinny on all different types of athletes involved in drafts. Not only just that, coming up is the hot stove luncheon that's going on right now for for Major League Baseball. There's trades being made, players getting signed, moving from team to team. Draft 412 has it all. $9 a month. They'll put an e-magazine right in your inbox, and it's the best in its third. And they have podcasts as well. Next Wednesday, I will be at the Draft 412 podcast show at Gorman's Bar on 51. So anyone interested, come on out and say hello. I had a couple people who watch my show. I had a guest that was on my show. He showed up there at the last gig over at the bar over in Whitehall. Yeah, I'll be at Gorman's Bar with Draft 412 for their their podcast recording. And Kevin Gorman will be there from the Trib. I'll be there. Draft 412 will be there. So show up there next Wednesday, the 13th, 7:00. I will be there for this party. So anyway, all right. One other thing here, I want to talk to you today about Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio. Go out to Hillcrest Farm. Take the kids out. Hurry up before the weather gets bad. It's nice there. Talk to Caitlin and Taylor. There's some nice people there. They own Hillcrest Farm. They have some great beef, some super duper ground beef. I have their ground beef. I use it I just made some hamburgers tonight with it. I've made meat sauce for spaghetti, sloppy Joe, whatever you want to do with meat sauce or whatever you want to do with ground beef. $95 for 20 pounds of ground beef. You can't beat that price.
No.
So it's right up the hill from Steubenville, Ohio. 45 minutes from downtown Pittsburgh. And you can order online at hillcrestfarmsohio.com. And you can also on their website order. They will deliver to your house, or they'll have it delivered to your house. They are doing that now. And also they have an email in case you want to get directions. My advice to you is to get on the email and get thorough directions, because there's a certain way you have to put it in the GPS or you're going to end up somewhere else. All right. HillcrestFarmsOhio@gmail.com. Believe me, I did. HillcrestFarms@gmail.com. Call them today, 740-346-5442, 740-632-2894. Hillcrest Farm for the best beef tonight. All right. Just like the best sleep tonight, the best beef tonight. There you go.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. All right, Bill, we're going to wrap it up here. What do you have to close up with tonight?
Hey, viewers and listeners, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are part of this.
We do.
We try to bring you a great show every Monday, and thank you for taking the time out, listening and viewing us. We do appreciate it. And I'm going to be the first one to go because Ralph's going to wind up rounding it up. So thank you guys for everything. Have a great week, and we will see you guys next Monday.
Yes, next Monday. And don't forget to tell your friends, tell your cousin, call your neighbor, call somebody, call the neighbor's dog, whoever, have them tune in, watch the show. Look, I have a wrestling show I do now we moved it to Wednesdays. I do it on Wednesday night, 7:00 on Blog Talk Radio. We had 150. I said, if all 150 of you go get one person, the following week we had 300. The following week we had 500. The following week we had 600. Okay? If they can do that there, you can do it here. All right? Call your friend, call your cousin, call somebody in your family, call your enemy, call somebody you don't know. Just call somebody and get them here watching this program. Because I tell you what, it's the way we see it. And sometimes the way we see it isn't what a lot of people see.
Exactly.
But that's okay. All right. All right, Bill, have a good night. I'll talk to you next week.
Hey, you too. We'll see you guys. See you, Pittsburgh.
Thank you.
Take
All right. So that's my co-host, Bill Cannata. He's heading out. One other announcement tomorrow night. Don't forget 5 to 6 p.m. Beaver County Radio. Ralph Williams, myself, Smoking Jim Frazier. Tomorrow night, Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM, 12:30 a.m. Beaver County Radio's Facebook page, YouTube channel, and on their website. We're live as well, and on www.rwmedia.org. Okay. Tomorrow, Steve Bellisari, who reports for the New England Patriots, will be on the show to talk about the Patriots and the game with the Steelers on Thursday night. And then at 5:30, I wanted to have just one guest on so we could open it up for calls, but I had to bring this guest on because there's somebody's got some splaining to do about this loss yesterday with the Steelers. So I'm bringing on Ray Fittipaldo from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's coming on. He's been a big contributor to the show. Next month in January, starting January 2nd, the Year in Sports Review Spectacular. I go 4 to 6 p.m. And so I just want to let everyone know that for schedule change, we're still on Tuesday night. We're still on Beaver County Radio, but it's just 4 to 6 instead of 5 to 6. And also, don't forget next month in January, we're going to have a special Pitt football closing show, and we're going to have a Steeler closing show. And next month, we're going to have Matt Vensel come on to talk about the Pens. We have a lot going on Sports Corner. It's a crime if you're not listening or watching Sports Corner radio show on Beaver County Radio. All right. Don't forget Wednesday, our new day and time, Wednesday, 7 p.m., Wrestle Talk with me, Ralph Williams, Mark Mancini, Smoking Jim Frazier, Bubba Brewer from the 3Bs podcast, and former wrestler Bubba Brewer. I tell you what, the best wrestling show across the nation, Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631, the number to call to listen to the program. That number again, 347-205-9631. And then don't forget, on Thursday night, I'm going to be on the Fire Up Show with Scott Morganroth and the gang there at the South Florida Tribune. We start around approximately 9:15, 9:30, somewhere in there, right after Pundit's Pundit. And then on Friday morning, 10:30 a.m., Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631, the External Bum podcast. We talk about bums in sports and many other sports topics as well. Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m., right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter platforms, telling it like it is. Me, myself, Ralph Williams, Leo Haggerty from Amped Up Sports. We have a good time. We talk general talk for about 15 minutes, and then we do 15 minutes of sports talk. It's a mixture. It's telling it like it is. It's myself, Ralph Williams, Leo Haggerty. Next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday, the post game will be back with myself, Bubba Brewer, Steve Spates, and Shane Stetmiller, and sometimes Smoking Jim Frazier, and whoever else I decide to invite the post game show. I tell you what, I've been getting a lot of views, a lot of positive emails. Everyone likes it. It's a different, fresh approach to the other post game shows that go on in this town about the Steelers and the Penguins and everything else. And I want to thank everyone for your support, for listening, watching, and listening to the Sports Corner program. We're going to make it better. It's going to be better. We are better, and we're getting better. We're the new voices of sports radio. Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier. You've had enough of the others. Now you've tried the rest. Now try the best, and that's us. And you know what? We're better than all of these guys, and they know it, and you know it, and we know it. Okay? Yeah, let me talk to you. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great night here. Thank you for watching once again. And until next Monday, have a good night and be safe.